Now in this episode we're gonna be installing this universal CV boot. It's just a kit, comes with a couple of clamps, stainless steel clamps, grease, and the CV boot itself. Okay, so we're gonna be installing it on a VW Transporter T 5.1 2015. So stay tuned. So first thing first, we're gonna have to take this cover off, just using a pick tool. Now next we're gonna have to loosen this nut, drive shaft nut. Okay, so it's a 30mm socket.
Now it's a self-locking nut. You can see it has no split pin, so once you take it off you're supposed to use a new nut, and you're supposed to torque it to 200 Newton meters.
Now before we're gonna jack our van, we're gonna loosen all the bolts. That's it. Now we have wheel in the air, so we're gonna take it off now. Now for safety I would put it underneath vehicle. Even if it's gonna drop, it's gonna drop on the wheel. Okay, so it's not gonna drop on the ground. Inspect our brakes. Brakes are okay. And rest it on our axle, on our stand. Okay. So we just need to take this nut off completely. Now nuts have a bit of a corrosion, so to tackle this problem we're gonna have to use our wire brush. And use a bit of a penetration oil on it as well. Okay. Same on a ball joint nut here, and this nut here, so we're gonna have to remove a ball joint as well. Okay, It's a little bit awkward to film, but same principle. Just use your wire brush first. Just get rid of as much corrosion as possible. And then use a little bit of penetration oil. And just give it a couple of minutes and try to undo the nuts. It's 21, okay? So 21mm socket. Anti-clockwise. Break apart helps a big time. Maybe it's time to use our impact gun. Now we are off. Okay, actually it's got very hot now. Clean the threads a little bit. Now same procedure for your ball joint. Again 21mm socket. Now we use the breaker bar once it gets started. Okay, so we're gonna have to take this off first. Okay. Now we're gonna use our wishbone, okay? And it's out. Okay, so look at our inner tie rod end just not holding in, so we might have to change inner tie rod end at the later stage as well. Use a little bit of a wire brush action. To get rid of a corrosion.
In here, using an angle grinder, just gently cut through old CV boot clamps. In here you can see the diameter of this green cone. It's just not large enough. Ideally would have went over CV boot completely, but it is what it is now. Since we gave a CV boot a wire brush and a bit of a sandpaper, it's smooth now. It's not ideal, but it should be alright. Before tackling this job, I've read in instructions, and it says you're supposed to use this special cone lubricant, which my motor factors didn't have. So I'm just using a bit of silicone spray in here. This lubricant, it's not leaving any residue after using it, so it's kind of dries out clean. And now I'm loading our CV joint with fresh grease. When you're loading your CV joint with a grease, make sure you load the CV joint only and not the boot itself. Again, I've read in instructions and it says if you load a CV boot, centrifugal force can push your grease to one side and basically can just rip it. But to be honest, it's not that much grease in that packet anyway, so it's just enough for your CV joint. glad I caught it on camera, so at least I can show you what to do if it's ever gonna happen to you. When I was tightening this clamp, one side of it just came off, and that's it, it was gone. It was no good to me anymore. You can only use them clamps once. But if it's ever gonna happen to you, you can put just cable ties and then assemble all the suspension back and dry for a couple of days, get your new clamps, and then it's possible to use the proper clamps after, no problem.
Now to clamp it in place, you're gonna have to use something like that, called the CV boot clamps. So the way it works, we do have like a teeth here which grabs onto these holes, right? Something like that. Okay, and then you use the special pliers like that and just squeeze them together, or you can use something like that and squeeze it together as well. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and try to fit it now. It's a little bit fiddly job, but it has to be done. Okay,
here all my suspension is assembled back, and I was driving it for a couple of days with just a plastic cable tie, so I took them off, and now I'm just using the proper stainless steel clamps now. And this is how to change your CV boot using a cone, so you don't have to remove a dry shaft completely. So it's a great way of for somebody like you and me, for DIYers. So still it's a little bit messy job, but it can be done, no problem. Guys, as ever, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. If you found it helpful, please give us a like, drop us a comment, share, and consider subscribing. Loads of more videos coming out as well. And for now, take care, and I'll catch you at the next one. Cheers.